Hey guys, welcome back to that generator guy. Today we have a Firman 2100i. The customer said that he had ran it all night over some really loose dirt, and these things breathe. Actually, all the suitcase generators breathe from the bottom, and so he actually had two of them, and one of them had low compression. So I just wanted to kind of go through that with you guys, so you could see how I figure out what happens. First thing, it actually kind of sounds like it wants to start a little bit. I'll show you. You pull it real good. Yeah. That time it didn't really do it. Let's see. So definitely not starting. So the first thing you need to do is kind of get this apart. Ultimately, we want access to this panel right here. So just start by removing the 5 screws that hold that on. Can do this a little bit. I'm just going to take this plastic off because I know it'll be so much easier with everything. So next, remove these 5 screws. Work our way around, turn my light on so I can see. Now, I may have stated this in another video, but if you're just needing one panel off, it is a lot nicer to not take this off, just because this little rubber flap here that goes over the fuel tank can be kind of cumbersome to deal with. Next thing that's kind of important is these 4 bolts right here. If someone else has worked on your generator, they probably over tightened it, and like I can see right here, this is cracked. So I use a spinner handle when I tighten these back up, so I do not over torque them. If you use a ratchet, you're probably gonna tighten it too much. Let's see if that will. Now it's giving me a spin. Okay. So I just take a pair of ice grips, kind of look like this. Heat and low style. And I get it to, it's doing something strange. Okay. Yeah, maybe about right there. Kind of support that nut in the back. Put you down, and I probably actually need a socket because it's obviously very tight. There we go. So on these Firmans, I see that a lot. And then with the ones that aren't cracked, you just kind of bump them and just keep bumping them. And this one went. If I'd have just tried to crank it hard, it would have probably done the same thing that happened over there. And this one is a different style, but this bottom one can definitely still strip out. And that sucks because then you have to cut it off. Don't know why I'm not using a drill. Definitely faster. Just need to loosen them up by hand. Don't need to unscrew them all the way by hand. Okay. So now, oh, I forgot about that screw. There's a screw right here. So it kind of just holds the case, the back end of the case together. That works too. Oh no. Don't have my sockets in. Try and keep everything pretty close by, just because I don't know how to edit videos, so just record them, put them up. This is a 13/16 socket. Get it on the spark plug. This one doesn't look as sandy as that last one looked, which is good, but still, it doesn't want to start after a whole night of sucking dirt. So let's grab our 10mm socket. First, I just want to take a quick peek at the air filter. And then after I take a peek at the air filter, you take that valve cover off. So it looks like a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know how well you can see. But first of all, right here on the back, there's a lot of fine dirt, and then inside there, hopefully you can see just that fine dirt in there, very fine, which is going to be like toothpaste, you know. Not good for your engine. valves for now. Tool. Oh man, these things get baked on there somehow. I don't get it. But it's like this with every single one. These 2000 inverter Firmans. This is actually pretty impressive. I've never had this much trouble. Oh, look at this, a little more convincing. No way. Wow. It's definitely not leaking oil. That's for sure. That sucker is on there. Okay, so first thing you're gonna want to do is bring the engine to top dead center on the compression stroke. Now it looks like it's on the exhaust stroke. And this one closest to the carburetor. And it starts going down. Here we're on the intake stroke. Now it's coming up. It's gonna bump the exhaust valve as a compression release. And I missed it. Do it all over again. Intake. Okay, so these are both loose, and you can tell because that pin slides freely. So the pin won't come all the way out that holds these rocker arms. So what I do, and be careful when you do this because there's this little ring that's holding the spring to the valve. So you want to first kind of look at where that C-clip is on there, and you want to go for the opposite of the open end. That's where you're going to push and just open the valve and push the rocker forward, and then now the push rod drops down, which means even if this thing starts to, there, that's how I want it. When we put air pressure in this to test for leaks, you don't want one of these valves opening, because what's going to happen is the piston's at top dead center, you're going to put air pressure in, the piston's going to go down, and then it could potentially push on one of these and a bunch of air will come out because the valve's open. So that won't give you a good leak down result. So we'll drop that down. Okay, so now both of these are free. I really like this tool. This is the OTC cylinder leakage tester kit. This thing cost me like, I think it was only 90 bucks or so, but man, this thing is nice. It doesn't leak air, and it gives you a solid rating. Cheap Chinese ones that you can get like on Amazon are garbage. All right, so just start threading it in there. It's gonna be the one that comes on it. You don't need any adapters because it's a 14mm socket. And just kind of snug it down. This gauge here is going to be our shop air, our supplied air pressure, and this is going to be the engine's air pressure over here. So hopefully I don't regret this, but I'm going to go ahead and open this. There is a port. Oh man, this thing's overfilled with oil. Awesome. So we're not going to go that route. Basically what I was going to try and illustrate is if any air is getting past the rings, you'll kind of see the oil just rocking back and forth in there. But there is a port from the crankcase to here. Obviously it's how oil gets splashed up here to lubricate everything as the engine's spinning. So we can just feel right here and discern whether it's coming from either of these valves or if it's coming out of the crankcase. So you just start turning it up. Cylinder went down. Okay, and you can see, to make your math super easy, just give it 100 pounds, but you can see I'm giving it 80 and it's already way down here at 30 still, which is, yeah. And I can push on these valves and they're, guess they're not that tight. So right now I'm giving it 100 and it's holding 34 PSI, which is 2 PSI better than the one that it was sitting right next to sucking dirt. So 100 PSI out of 100%, it is leaking out a lot, over 60%. You don't want that. Usually you want something like this engine here to be about 3%. So this engine will probably never run again just because the amount of time on the other side under this piece of plastic over here is all the electronics, save for this engine control unit right here. The amount of time it takes to undo everything, pull the stator off, the rotor, get this thing down, and then I don't even know if you could hone it, but hone it if possible. It's just not worth it. You could buy a used one for cheaper than it will cost to fix this one or even put in a new engine. All right, if you want to put it back together, it's just the reverse of everything we just did. It's not really any tips or tricks, just put it back together. But if you have one that is not starting and you see that it is getting fuel, it's getting spark, go ahead and perform this leak down test and look, listen, and feel. You know, if it were leaking from the intake valve, you would feel air hissing out right here. If it was leaking out of the exhaust valve, you could put your hand over the exhaust and you'll feel a little stream of air. Now, mind you, when you're doing 100 PSI, it's normal to feel just a touch, but I'm talking about a steady stream, like someone's blowing on you. And again, you kind of see it here. So it was leaking. This thing only held 34, so that's what, 66 psi that it is venting out of the engine. That is not good. It can never build up enough compression to cause combustion with that amount of leakage. So, all right, that's it for this video. Hope it helped you guys. Take care.